Hi, I'm Tessa, a veteran educator working in the field of special education.
And I'm Kim, mom of two autistic boys and a late diagnosed autistic person myself.
And welcome to Totally Over the Spectrum, where we dive into embracing autism through understanding and support.
Hello and welcome to episode 21. And we're talking about a topic that hits close to home for a lot of autistic people, and that's sleep issues.
Yes, lack of sleep makes very grumpy people.
It really
in
does.
General. Okay, so this is something that I would really like to see parents and people who do have autism really invest, a lot of time and effort into getting this one down.
Research, because I always go to the research.
Yep. Okay.
40 to 80% of autistic individuals experience sleep disturbances. And that's things like trouble falling asleep or waking up multiple times during the night or waking up way too early in the morning.
Wow, you talk from experience there with the way too early in the morning.
Yeah. My youngest son, Peter, level 3, higher support needs, up at 3 o'clock in the morning lately. I'm like, what are we doing and why are we doing that? Because mom likes to sleep. Yeah. Okay. So
right.
I'd like to talk about some of the causes.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about some strategies to help get a better night's sleep.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. So sleep deprivation can have a huge impact on day-to-day life.
Agreed.
Right? So increased irritability, heightened sensory sensitivities, behavioral challenges, and difficulty focusing. All of that can make managing just daily life exceptionally difficult.
And there's a huge correlation and a lot of evidence to support the lack of sleep increases those meltdowns and shutdowns. So in order to, we spoke details about that in one of our previous episodes, but this is a huge contributing factor to that.
Yeah, I think that was episode 13, and I'll put a link at the end of the video if people would like to check that one out. So let's talk about the causes. So like all things, when you talk about autism, it is very specific to the individual.
Yes.
But some of the factors, sensory sensitivities, always a big one, right? So autistic people can be more sensitive to light, more sensitive to sound or textures, right? So trying to create the perfect sleep environment when you have all of these sensitivities can be extremely challenging.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump in with some of the strategies in which to support each one of these areas that you're going to discuss. How does that sound?
Can we talk about strategies at the end? Can we go through causes first and then talk about strategies? Is that okay?
I can accommodate you, yes.
Right?
Of course.
Thank you. I'd really appreciate
You're
it. Because
welcome.
I just feel like if we talk about the causes first and then talk about the strategies after, it just better flow in my brain rather than jumping back and forth.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's if it works for you, works for me.
Well, it works
I'm
for me.
flexible.
Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
on the fly.
So for my youngest son, Peter, we just talked about, if there is even a tiny bit of light in the room, oh, he's awake. A little bit of noise, he's awake. Right? My other son, Alex, level 1, lower support needs, he can sleep like the dead. Not an issue.
Yeah.
Right?
I can vouch for both of them, yes.
Right? Like a bomb could go off next to him. He wouldn't move. But with Peter, any little change, and he's awake. He's like, oh, what's going on? And he also runs hot. So you have to think about things like, is he wearing the right pajamas to go to bed? Or are his sheets too heavy? Is it too hot? Right? Do I have enough? The temperature in the room has to be right. So all of those things, right, can contribute to whether or not you have a good night's sleep. There's a lot to think about. The next part is your circadian rhythm, right? So that is your internal clock, which regulates you when you're awake or asleep. And studies have suggested that some autistic people may have circadian dysregulation because of a low melatonin rhythm. Now, melatonin is a hormone, and your body produces that in response to darkness. And you produce more of that when it's dark and less when it's light. So it can be taken orally as a supplement and is generally considered to be safe. if taken in the appropriate amounts. However, before you take anything, you should consult your doctor, right? Or before giving it to your child, consult your doctor, because as with all things, there are side effects, right? You can have headache, dizziness, nausea, drowsiness, less common side effects like short-lasting feelings of depression. Peter is non-speaking, right? I'm not going to know if he has any of these side effects if he can't tell me, right? You have to be super careful. So also less common side effects, mild tremor, mild anxiety, abdominal cramps, irritability, reduced alertness, confusion, disorientation, and it can also have negative interactions with other drugs. So I know that that's a strategy. Melatonin is a strategy.
It is one of my strategies,
I
yes.
just really needed to say all the things that could potentially go wrong so that people don't go, oh, it's all natural, because that drives me nuts. But it's natural. So is cancer. Cancer's natural. Doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, no, just because your body produces something naturally doesn't mean taking more of it is necessarily a good option. So please talk to a professional before you do these things. Another cause. Co-occurring conditions can also affect sleep, like anxiety, right? So if you find it difficult to relax or unwind, your mind's racing, you have intrusive thoughts, it's going to affect your ability to sleep. Also, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that can contribute to restlessness or difficulty falling asleep. And there's a lot of people who have autism and ADHD, right?
The comorbidities, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, and studies have shown that children with ADHD, autism and ADHD, have significantly more sleep disturbances compared to just being autistic. There's also a lot of gastrointestinal issues in the autism community. And if you are feeling discomfort, it can impact your sleep, right? So now that we know the causes, I think now we can talk about the strategies.
Okay.
Thank you. Patience.
You're very welcome. Okay, so one of the key strategies is routine, right? It is absolutely necessary to set a routine in order to build muscle memory in the body, right? So we're just going to talk about your baseline. I'm going to address it for more of the younger audience. I would say, a bath to relax the body, right? To get prepared, give the body a cue to say, yeah, we're going to get ready to sleep. And when you do this on a regular basis, you automatically start setting the precedence for your little ones to say, okay, it's time to get ready for bed, right? So routine is absolutely necessary. Have a shower, a bath, or whatever it is that you do in your family, just to relax the body. Then just have quiet time, right? No technology to stimulate the brain and, to get them to be all wired up. That's going to be counterproductive, right? So if you're going to do anything, read, right? Just read to them. And the tone in which you read to them helps to settle them, helps to calm them. And, and once again, the other, is to set that success up is making sure the environment is set for sleep.
And this
right?
works for adolescents and adults too. Like, this is not just for kids.
No, it isn't. But we see a lot of the information and the questions that we get are from parents who are dealing with this with their little ones. So I'm kind of, addressing it to them because they're burning the midnight oil. So, but yeah, absolutely. These strategies work for anyone, whether you're neurodivergent or neurotypical, right? Just setting and cueing the body up for that. The other strategy was, yes, melatonin. It is widely used, but like you said, please consult a medical profession before you start to take any of these, right? It is an aid in order to cue your body to say, hey, it's time to go to sleep. The next strategy is setting up the environment, right? And you had touched on a couple of key points over there. Making sure that it is really dark, right? Because people with autism are hypersensitive to everything. So that little peakness of, daylight or in winter months, when you have that beautiful fresh fallen snow, it is bright, right? So you may not think that it's nighttime, but the snow is going to, and if you have a nice big full moon, it's bright out there. And so setting up that environment for your child to sleep or yourself to sleep is key. Cooler temperatures help the body to go into a better restful and REM sleep, as evidence suggests. So keeping it cool, making sure that what you're sleeping on is comfortable, right? If you're a person that likes a nice soft mattress to be able to kind of nestle into, you're going to have to invest into something like that. Or if you're a person's like, no, I feel like I'm sinking away and I'm like, and the whole world's caving in on me. No, I need a firm mattress. Then you adjust it to that. One of the other strategies I do ask parents to look into is a lot of times that kids have their spatial awareness is off, right? It is a common comorbidity to it. And a weighted blanket does help. It helps them to feel that they're not floating away, as it's often been described to us. So, so a weighted blanket helps them feel like they are not going to be floating away or they're not going to be rolling off. And it kind of gives them that sense of security.
Deep pressure.
Yes.
Right? It does give. So, like you were talking before with consistency, a lot of autistic people thrive on routine.
Yes.
Right? So if, like you said, having a bath and those kinds of things, doing that in the same order every night is also important, right? So if you have your bath, when you brush your teeth, when you do all of those bedtime things in the same sequence.
Yes.
Right? I get dysregulated, as you know, when things are not done in sequence. So you can't change that up. Once you set that, make sure you put some thought into the routine and set it up so that it happens the same way every time for success.
And it's something that you can take into different environments, but we're jumping way ahead, right? So these routines need to be transportable no matter where your environment is, right? And so putting deep thought into that is really crucial.
And along with that deep pressure from a weighted blanket, you could use massage.
Yes.
Right? Deep breathing exercises. They calm the body.
Yeah, everything to cue the body that it's getting time to rest. The other strategy is avoid stimulants, right? Right. For an adult or somebody older, yeah, don't have a cup of coffee before you go to bed. Like, that's just going to keep you buzzing, right?
Coffee, alcohol, tobacco use.
All of those are contributing factors to, cueing the body to say, hey, let's keep moving. And last but least, and we've spoke about this in our previous episode for picky eaters or selective eaters, is exercise, right? So it is important that your body needs to feel like it's ready for resting, right? So make sure that you do incorporate exercise and that the body is tired and is ready for that much long needed rest. So these are my top strategies in which I would suggest to pretty much anybody, whether it's level 1, level 2, level 3, whether you're a toddler or an adolescent or an adult, these strategies work across the board for pretty much anybody.
I have a few strategies to add, sort of just to augment.
Okay, go for it.
Sometimes people are scared of the dark, right? So you said, a little bit of light can keep someone up, but sometimes a little bit of light is enough to comfort them to go to sleep. Other people are going to need blackout curtains, right?
Yes.
Best invention ever for Peter. Absolutely total darkness. Close the door. Don't run appliances. Keep the bed away from the wall if there's noise on the other side, right? If your bed is up against the wall and the bathroom is on the other side and someone flushes the toilet, you're going to hear that, right? Move the bed away if you can. Right? So there's a lot of really small things you can do that are going to possibly have a huge impact. Also, the state of the bedroom, right? If you have, maybe they need a little bit of light, but now you have all of these pictures on the wall or posters or bright colors, like all of that can be stimulating. Mm-hmm. So it can be visually stimulating, and now I want to look around and I don't want to go to sleep. Right? So thick carpet, right? People walking around can be disturbing. So having a thick carpet to muffle the sound could be helpful. White noise, or having a fan on in the room. Some people need a little bit of noise. Otherwise, your ears ring like you have a little bit of tinnitus or something. And sometimes just that too much stillness is not okay. And other people need complete quiet. Right? So having a little white noise machine or a fan on. Also, the fan can be circulating the air because smells can be bad. So you might want to air out the bedroom before bedtime just to make sure you've got some clean, fresh air coming in from outside.
These are all baseline strategies that we're providing, right? So it's going to be trial and error. And you're going to say, oh, well, I tried this, but it didn't work. And that's okay. Not everything is going to work for every single person. So it's kind of building your specific routine that is going to give you the best opportunity for rest.
You're really looking for your Goldilocks, right? You're looking for that particular person.
Yes, you are.
Right? So sometimes having a calming scent like lavender can help people fall asleep. And for other people, that might be completely out of the question, overwhelming.
Way too much to go. Yep.
Exactly. So I know this sounds like contradiction, but everybody's sensory sensitivities are different. So what's going to work for one person might be the total opposite that's going to work for another person. Like we said, comfortable pajamas or no pajamas, right? If sometimes having restrictive clothing on when you're sleeping is not going to contribute to having a good night's sleep.
Yep. And it's like we did touch base on the weighted blanket. For some people, that could be claustrophobic.
Oh yeah,
right?
I don't like it.
So, and for other people, it's like, this is
It's
the best.
instant relaxation.
It is,
yeah.
Absolutely. That deep pressure, for sure.
Even your pillow, right? You talked about the mattress being firm or soft. Your pillow, having a really fluffy pillow or a really flat pillow or no pillow, right? You have to sort of change that around to see what works for that person. It also may be very helpful at this point to keep a sleep journal.
Yes, it is.
Right? So keeping track of what time is bedtime, what is wake up time, how long does it take to fall asleep, or the number and duration of sleep interruptions, right? Because the more information you have, the more you can see what the pattern is and find strategies to help you through that particular component, right? The number and duration of daytime naps, right? You nap during the day. Sometimes that can affect how you sleep at night, especially how long you sleep during the day. Sleep quality. How do you feel when you get up in the morning? And then we talked about consumption of alcohol or caffeine or tobacco. That can also be kept in a sleep log. Medications. Medications can have different side effects and impact your ability to sleep. And then, like you said, daily exercise, putting that in your log as well. Mm-hmm. And seeing that correlation, right? You know that exercise is going to help, but sometimes when you